So F1 Manager 24 has just been announced, and it's been confirmed that we are getting a Creator Team Career Mode. Yep, that's right, we're basically getting the equivalent of My Team Career Mode in F1 Manager 24. And this is the announcement trailer they dropped along with this news.
Do you have the courage to compete? The ambition to create a team?
Custom liveries!
To carve your own path?
Oh, sponsors.
Push innovation and confront deeper challenges.
Oh, come on. They really had to do Leclerc dirty like that.
Mindset. Design your own journey. Create a team. Create a legacy.
Very cool. Very, very cool. There's no exact release date, but we know it's summer 2024. But can we just go back to that screenshot? Leclerc, they really had to do my guy dirty and put the failures along with him. There's actually quite a bit to dissect from this trailer, actually. So we're going to go through each of the screenshots that I've picked out, because there's actually some extra info in here that might give us some inkling to some extra gameplay. Obviously, off the bat, you know, custom liveries very much prominent in that trailer. Whether we get to like really customize, you know, where shapes go and such, I don't know. By looking at the liveries, you know, like, you know, you've got some like camo ones and like some really wacky ones. I would suspect, this is just an educated guess right now, I'm going to go for it's going to be like a pre-made system where you can change colors and hues. Kind of very much like they've got in the Codemasters full F1 game. You know, obviously, like I said, you know, this is basically like the My Team equivalent in the Manager game. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say the livery design will be quite similar, I guess, even though they're completely different studios, Frontier, you know, and Codemasters. But it looks like it. I would love if there was some proper customization with shapes and stuff, and as usual, I'm sure maybe with PC mods that will be a thing, but I would love for there to be some proper, like, you know, editing going on, at least stuff with like the sponsor placement and colors of the sponsors versus like shapes and stuff going on the livery. But let's go on to the more interesting screenshots going on here. The first one being, so we can see the cost gap. Obviously we know that was already a thing in the last game, but we now got percentage, so that's a better way to just kind of view the cost gap. Obviously, for someone who broke the cost gap in Season 1 of his career mode in F1 Manager 23, a percentage left of the cost gap would be quite useful to kind of just see. And also, I love the little circle going on there. So just maybe just an inkling of some better UI, some more intuitive UI to easily understand the data going on whilst we manage things. We've got the second one here. So we've got race engineer, chief mechanic, head of aero, and chief designer. So we've got, you know, in the previous game we had, you know, the technical chief, and then we had the race engineers basically, but we never had a breakdown between all of them. So now we've got race engineer, head of aero specifically, chief designer, and chief mechanic. So those will be extra staff positions that we can hire and we have to work on. You know, there's, you know, multiple stats, you know, on the screen here. So I'm envisaging there to be way more management of actual staff members, which is definitely a good thing, because that is exactly what it is like in real life Formula 1. You know, some of the bigger teams, they have so many staff members to look after. So it is a juggling of all those things. So very good to see there'll be more staff and actually more people to hire and more people that we can actually improve and try and, you know, nick from rival teams or, you know, grow the team, etc. Obviously, with our own team, you know, we're going to probably start off with very low-rated people, and so that's also going to cost a lot. So I'm assuming, I don't know, unlike the other F1 game, the full F1 game, I actually reckon the manager version of this Creator Team Career Mode is actually going to be quite difficult, because, you know, with the way it is right now, it's not easy to make a lot of money, and basing off F1 Manager 23, the staff wanted so much money for every new hire, wanted such a high salary and cost so much. So if there's more staff to pay and we're creating our own team with a small budget, small sponsors, the hope is actually it is going to be a very tough challenge. We then move on to the next interesting screenshot, which is a fake sponsor summary. We got an engagement target and upfront payment. So we can get, and that's a pretty hefty upfront payment, 56 million upfront for, I'm assuming, the main sponsor of our team, basically. But we've got bonus payments for engagement and then race day. So far we've had sponsor targets, when we've been playing F1 Manager 23 and 22 that are based off, just a sponsor. But now we're going to get tangible, like this fake sponsor in particular, wants this. We've got some sort of engagement bar to try and fill up. What that means exactly, we don't know in terms of what does that engagement mean? Like, is it going to be, probably like committing drivers to doing sponsor talks or doing things or hitting certain targets or, being able to do like sponsor days or test days or something where, the logo gets shown more, whatever. There'll be things we have to do then to actually get the engagement up and hit the target. Otherwise, you get penalized or don't get the full payout, maybe. We come to the hilarious one with Leclerc with his head in his hands, and we've got fault, drivability issue temporary, fault, impeding failure, de-escalates after the session, and a fault power reduction de-escalates after the session. So these are entirely new ways your car can break down. So this is clearly some new damage system, some new reliability system, where it's not just your parts like in F1 Manager 23 wearing out, it's actual scenarios of what the fault is, drivability issue, and it's temporary. So like, after a couple of laps, the driver will speed back up again, but for those few laps he's a bit slower. We've got power reduction, so the engine is not as powerful, so on the straight it's going to get mugged off. That says de-escalates after the session. So if that happens in qualifying, you're screwed for that qualifying session because it's going to go away after that. If it happens in the race, game over. And then we've got impeding failure. So I'm going to guess that means a bigger chance of you having to retire from that session overall. And then after that session's done, that chance goes away. So again, if that's in qualifying, you're going to have less of a problem maybe compared to the race where you really don't want that sort of problem. But new kind of scenario faults that are way more specific than just overall like, oh, the engine's a bit worn, you're going to lose a bit of performance. But now let's see, there's maybe a little bit more info in the press release that Frontier have put out, because sometimes this gives us a little bit more info, basically. So again, just reiterating, it's going to be coming out this summer, but we don't know exactly when in the summer. I imagine and hope it's a little bit later in the summer, so there's a bit of a gap between F1 24 and F1 Manager 24, which is always good, in my opinion. So, players have enough time to experience both, basically, in their own right. But here we are then, choosing to forge your own path during the 2024 season and beyond with the exciting new Creator Team mode, or you can just do the normal career mode, obviously. But for the very first time in the franchise's history, fans will have the option to create and lead their own custom team to victory, building a legacy alongside the sport's greatest names as they orchestrate their ascent to the top of the podium. Customizing elements of their team, players can curate their creativity to bring their dream designs to life, whilst negotiating sponsorship opportunities to ensure a steady stream of income to fuel their ambition. So, curate their creativity to bring their dream designs to life. Gives me a bit of hope there is a little bit of, good leeway with the livery customization, etc. And then obviously, yeah, we already saw their fake sponsors that we're going to have to negotiate with to get income, meet targets, and keep everything, cash fluid, basically, to be able to do the season. Identifying up-and-coming talent to rise up the grid order, or cherry-picking the biggest stars in the sport in the pursuit of immediate success. Obviously, from, F1 Manager beforehand, or already, F2 and F3 was a thing, but now it's going to be really useful because we can sign F2 drivers, maybe, that aren't going to get picked by F1 drivers, and, they're probably going to be cheaper, and that's going to be the way you have to start out your team, and then you need to build up income to be able to maybe get better drivers. And I'm hoping, along with this, I really hope there is a more rapid driver growth system in the game to make sure it's not too, arduous with how you're building up your team, basically. Critical to their team's lasting success will be how team principals manage their development off the track, designing new car upgrades and driving innovation in the pursuit of immediate performance, or investing in advanced headquarters to create a legacy and attract the envy of rivals. F1 Manager introduces a new mentality system for drivers and staff. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, mentality. So that's kind of, I don't know, kind of like almost like momentum, almost like I like to talk about with AI sometimes on the Codemasters F1 games. You know, where are they in their headspace of, you know, are they focused? Are they going to continue performing the way they are? And the same thing with staff. Bringing individual personalities and demands to the fore as players aim to maintain their team's motivations amidst the pursuit of glory and challenge for the sport's biggest prizes. So there's going to be much more personality and demand involved with the drivers and the staff. So maybe that's going to be, you know, what they expect from the team, how they are, how they act, kind of, you know, do they have a short fuse, maybe? Are they a person with little words for the sponsors, maybe? I don't know. That would be pretty cool to see. However, in Formula 1, every team strives to be the one lifting the trophies, and rival teams will provide a constant threat year on year with enhanced AI closing the gap between players and their competitors on and off track. So, again, hopefully a good improvement, step forward with the AI of, you know, the way they do R&D and upgrading and such, whilst the underlying threat of drivers and staff being poached means that the paddock shake-up is never far away. The fact they've said that means I hope that the AI now will actually come after you, because you can go after AI teams in the previous games, but AI never used to come and poach your staff or your drivers, or very rarely, basically. So I'm hoping the fact they've mentioned that is going to mean that there is actually, like they said, a constant threat, that they are going to be much more aggressive in the way they will come after and sign your staff members, sign your drivers maybe, and you'll have to put up a fight in terms of paying them money to keep them in your team. Success can slip away at any moment, however, with ever-present threat. Okay, here we go. Success can slip away at any moment, however, with the ever-present threat of a mechanical failure able to disrupt even the strongest of strategies, putting vital championship points at risk. So the first part was very standard, you know, what we already know, but there's those ever-present threat of mechanical failures, new mechanical failure scenarios that we're going to get to play around with. And that is basically all they've got given to us for now in the press release. I'm sure there's going to be more to come, because we've not really seen any actual, you know, tangible screenshots of gameplay of us creating our team, you know, those systems they talked about with the mentality stuff, how that actually works, you know, what does the UI look like for this creator team career mode, because, you know, like, you know, we know from the Codemasters games they had to create a whole new menu set and the way it looks, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how that looks, and obviously that will come at a later point. You know, if this game's to come out later in the summer, I'm sure we'll start seeing things maybe after May, or maybe earlier than that, it depends. But if you're new around here, get subscribed, because absolutely, as soon as we get any new screenshots or gameplay from F1 Manager 24, I'll be absolutely on it. But guys, that has been this video and analysis of the announcement trailer and all the news we know so far from F1 Manager 24. If you have enjoyed it, hit the like button, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Like I said, if you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content and any news when it comes, and I'll catch you guys around. Goodbye.